And then I will tweet this. Because I have that. I have that thing. I have the ability to tweet in SciLP now. I finally remembered to bug Burn about it. Actually, it was funny because I needed to upload something for DBZ League, and I was like, Burn, you're gonna be mad, really mad. And he's like, why? I was like, I lost the login info again. And he's like, that's not why. Why would I be mad about it? I was like, I don't know. But while you're there, can you also get me the login info for this and that?
Oh my god.
Totally going to abuse our friendship for these this stuff that I should have saved to a document years ago.
Yeah, you've had that account for how long now?
And it's important.
Like, probably almost 6-7 years now.
Decade-ish.
A decade-ish.
I think 2013, actually. No, I think 2010 is when I started. Ish. Join us. I'm just making it very simple. We're streaming. Come join us. Come be our friends.
Be our friends. Be our friends. Oh.
Watch how everyone's life ends.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, don't even speak that into existence.
Oh, look. And Twitter kept all the old thumbnails and stuff. Oh, Twitter. Alright. But hey, we're live. We're streaming to the right place. I have a much better much more stable streaming connection now, which is nice, so I can stream at higher quality, and we are good to go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a while.
You know, holidays and stuff.
Holidays and things. How is everyone?
Good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good.
You're alive.
Oh.
I think we're all a little bit like holiday hungover.
Depressed. Me, I'm totally depressed. Holidays are over.
Semester exams.
But you get to look forward to all the exciting things, like the end of book 2 that's coming up really fast. Huh?
Like
yeah.
50 PK we're about to have.
I should stop saying this though, because you guys are gonna just like start going off on tangents just to keep things from happening. You know, if we leave the city, book 2 will never end. All right.
Yeah, if we fuck off in the middle of this campaign, we'll never have to finish it.
I mean, we leave this town, we grind until we're level 20, and then we come back for book 3. No one can die.
Exactly. Everyone will just have died by then.
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
Tabletop. Well, the problem is tabletop RPGs can adapt to your level. It's almost like they're smart like that.
You're really going to begrudge us the hypothetical time we spent grinding to level 20?
Oh, you know what, guys? You know what I completely forgot to do?
What'd you do, Square?
By the time we're all level 20, Gauge Rain will be a Tarrasque.
I forgot to set up a second window for the stream. They're seeing stuff, but they're seeing the wrong stuff. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll do that while we're getting started because I can multitask.
Oh, by the way, just to call it, I remember, were we wanting to use the call for the sound effects?
Oh.
Yes. Oop.
Not tonight.
Okay, that's fine.
We're getting back into the swing of things still.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we will forgo those for now. But anyway, last we left everyone, you all were dealing with vampires.
Yay!
Fun.
Yeah.
Dealing in hard quotes.
Yeah, fun-loving vampires.
Is that what we're calling them?
That's what I'm calling him. Him in particular. No,
He's hip. He's stylish. You know.
Oh, God.
You ran into a not nice vampire who made a deal with you guys. Basically, the deal being you let him leave and he lets you live, according to him. Though there were plenty of signs that showed that this vampire was incredibly powerful. And you guys thought it was better to at least this one time live and let live. And just kill his lackeys, which was supposed to be an incredibly difficult fight, but you guys knocked it out of the park.
Yay for bottlenecking.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay for tanks. Tanks being tanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys succeeded in clearing out the vampire spawn, and you also took a look through the old toy store of the old ex-convict who was really, really bad at making toys, and found a key to a lockbox at the Church of Abadar. You went to the Church of Abadar and you got an actual, not a bad reward for your efforts there. A magical item, some gold. Not a bad haul indeed. Now
Really good lockpicks.
Oh, hang on a second. Wait, why is it telling me that? Oh, hang on. Sorry. I was gonna say, now you guys, we pretty much ended there at the Church of Abadar, and I believe you guys were on your way back to Citadel Volshnik, yes?
Yes. Yeah, because we wanted to talk to Cressida and let her know that there's a vampire on the loose, right?
Correct.
Yes?
Yeah, and Murray had offered to go alone and talk to Cressida, and everybody else was like, no, fuck you, I'm coming with. So, we're all going to go see Cressida.
Yep. So, anything you guys want to do or discuss on the way, or shall we just jump ahead to Citadel Volshnik?
I don't think there's anything that we desperately need to talk about beforehand.
Oh, we might want to discuss if there's any preparations we want to make before going to the Blessed Maiden, but we can do that afterwards. That being where Indiason is, I mean.
Okay, and I know that that's where what's-her-face is, but what is the Blessed Maiden again?
The Blessed Maiden is a hospice center. So what you guys know of the Blessed Maiden is a hospice center that severe victims of the plague, which, you know, that's a lot of people, go to receive healthcare from the Queen's physicians. It is also the headquarters, if you want to call it that, of the Queen's physicians, the main place that they're working out of.
Gotcha.
Which makes sense for her.
Give me a second here. I think I got to share this again. Yeah, there we go. And you also, of course, have found out that Freya's adopted. What? She did adopt Freya too, right? Begrudgingly.
Yeah. Yes. Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly. Freya's adopted mother also is most likely Indiason. So fun times.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Well, of course you didn't.
Are you
do
sure?
It.
Me. Not me. Not me.
And you also found out that the Blessed Maiden happens to be literally right across the street from where you're currently residing. But other than that, you don't know much. You know that it is a... Oh, no, you do know that it used to be a warehouse of the Arconas.
Of course it was.
But it was...
And the more I hear them mentioned, the less I like them.
But it was publicly, at least publicly acknowledged, to be offered up for being used as a hospice. And that's all you know at the moment.
Gotcha.
So, we will go ahead and skip over to... Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. Hang on. We're actually going to skip over for the stream to the correct window that I now have set up for everyone. That I did
Good idea.
without you knowing, because I'm cool like that. All right, there we go. And give me 1 second here.
Hey, Cressida, I know you've got a lot on your plate right now, but guess what we just found?
How do you feel about vampires?
So, when you approach Citadel Volshnik, it is a fairly familiar scene. There are very few guards within it. Most of the guards are tasked to capacity outside in the city. And the guards all seem tired and overworked, and the atmosphere, like many other places in the city, is very drab. As you approach the gate, the guards at the gate nod to you, and they don't even stop you. They don't even question you. At this point, you guys are in and out so often that they just nod to you. They give you, of course, a glance over to, make sure you're not carrying rocket launchers or anything. But they usher you through, and you're left on your own to go to Cressida's office. The door is shut when you get there.
If nobody else is gonna, we will knock.
Okay. You knock and you hear, "Come in."
Suppose we'll open the door and usher all the ducklings through.
All right. And you see Cressida sitting on the other side of her desk filling out paperwork. She looks up. She sees all of you. And she puts down her quill, sits back in her chair, crosses her arms and her legs, and goes, "Come in. Close the door."
That doesn't sound threatening at all.
So do you?
Yeah, Mary will give her kind of Mary will give her kind of a questioning look, but will do so.
Did you investigate Racker's Alley?
I believe, before we get into that, you have something on your mind.
I believe I'm asking the questions, and I would very much like you to answer them.
This is what you get for being mean to Rhea last session.
Wow. Okay.
I apologize.
This out of character, I assume.
Yes.
Like Rhea's just
Yes,
being
Rhea's
petty.
not speaking in third person about herself.
She didn't turn into Elmo. It's okay.
You sure?
She goes, "What did you find at Racker's Alley?"
A vampire and several vampire creatures.
And with that, her eyebrows raise. "I had feared undead, but vampires. A true, honest vampire, not just spawn?"
Yes, I'm afraid so.
And the outcome?
I do want to ask one thing, because I recall specifically, Shella actually said his name, didn't she?
No. So you're recalling something, not quite. She didn't say his name. She was as surprised by his name as you were, but he did recognize her as a Valentine. And he did make a comment that Freya noticed made her eyes visibly widen, which was, he said that he loved the Valentines and had even been a VIP special guest of one of their private shows, which apparently very much upset Shala. And that is when it was later on at some point, she got freaked out or really scared, or whatever your characters take away from it, but she did at one point say, quite convinced of herself, that we could not beat this foe.
Right.
She was obviously very, very terrified.
Okay.
Gotcha. Murray will say favorable in that we escaped.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I do not believe that was a foe we could have taken and lived.
I do not blame you. And I am glad to see you safe. The vampire, do you by chance know where they are now?
I can tell you that they had taken up residence in whatever the toy shop's name was. I don't remember.
Gotcha. You because Mary probably wouldn't remember. You just say that toy shop at the corner.
Yeah, that real shitty toy shop.
Yeah.
You know that one?
She'll kind of nod dismissively.
As for its whereabouts now, I could not tell you.
That is unfortunate, but I am glad that you are all safe. And her face kind of softens for a bit. And then she closes her eyes. She kind of like rubs her face and she goes, "My turn. Do you know what I found while you were doing that?" Anyone?
No.
I found the Querwyn Manor burning itself to ash and attempting to set the neighborhood around it aflame. I found that I had to divert almost all the guards that I had available to contain the fires. I found that once again, mysteriously and by coincidence, a place that you left was set aflame. I don't suppose any of you would have any idea how such miraculous events could again happen.
Again?
Yes, Rhea, again. It would seem that my good friends here have a really unfortunate luck that often when I send them somewhere, right when they leave or shortly after, it burns to the ground.
Mary kind of ducks her head and says, "Well, since we're on the topic of Wrecker's Alley, I suppose I'd better tell you. It is now clean, and the bodies are burning in the street."
She kind of closes her eyes. Another mysterious fire. How odd. I don't care if you burn bodies in the street, if no one was hurt. I do care if an entire mansion burns to the ground. Have you ever seen a building catch on fire? Wind lifts everything. Embers, flames, curtains, and it carries them to the neighborhoods around it. Now, no one saw who started the fire, and for my own sanity, I hope they never do. But off the record, what the hell were you thinking? And she's looking at, in particular, Miri, Amelia, and Aras.
Yeah. I think Freya will just kind of look the other way and act like she wasn't involved. Because I don't.
I didn't think the Carowin Manor was on fire when we left. I mean, it's possible something might have happened in the fray.
Really? That's odd. Julistina seems to be telling a very different story. And her face, like her jaw is dead set. She looks at Amelia. Yes, I know. She is crazy. I'll grant that. She looks at each of you in turn. I consider us friends. Are we friends?
Certainly.
Good. Then know that whatever your answer is, I have neither the desire nor the manpower to hunt or to pursue such a matter. But as friends, Tell me the truth. Did you set that house on fire?
Yes.
Wait, what?
She leans back and she sighs, like closes her eyes. Thank you, Mary. At least for that. And then she, like, slaps the table. Are you insane? Did you stop to consider what you were doing? Why? Why would you set it ablaze?
Moira kind of sighs and sits back on her heels. You asked me if I know what my house catches on fire, and I think you'll find that I know that very intimately. But there is also power in fire to clear what is there. You did not see that house as it was. You did not see what had happened there.
I will grant you that. But there are priests, Mary, that handle that kind of thing. That will prevent... You are lucky. You are all lucky that innocent people's houses did not burn down. My men are good at what they do, and you better be thankful. Because if I had not sent guards to go examine that house when I did, if they had not been able to contain it, and if a breeze had carried even the slightest ember to a neighbor's house, we could have had a wildfire on our hands. And then she leans back. You forced my hand. Jolestinia is going to Ria's order.
Moira kind of shrugs half-heartedly. That was not my decision to make.
She's looking at the rest of you. How do the rest of you react?
Contextually, wasn't she originally leaning towards executing her because the majority of us wanted to?
Yep.
I'm just trying to remember.
She was.
If I remember right, I think Freya was kind of not trying to take a side on that.
Yes.
She's probably straying away from this still because she doesn't want to get too involved. But...
So, because it has been some time. Freya was trying to be neutral, especially since she's still the new girl.
Yeah.
Shala had taken Ria's side and was taking a bit of heat for that. Aras and Amelia were very, very set on that being a very bad idea. And Miri, I think, was also set, but maybe less resolutely. Is that right, Blue?
That would have been her preference, but she
Right.
understood that that's not a situation that that's not her call to make.
Gotcha. So I'm curious, what are the reactions right now for Ria, Amelia, and Aras?
Because of what happened back in the alley, Ria sort of, I imagine she's more towards the back of the group, and she's probably got like a small smile on her face, but she's trying to hide it.
Gotcha.
Is she laughing at the fact that we're being chided?
Not on the outside.
Uh-huh.
All Aras does is... No, that's okay. All Aras does is say, I hope everything goes okay. And I'm just being overly paranoid.
If you wanted to be overly paranoid, perhaps you should not have burned down every scrap of evidence that would have put her head on the block. I am not sending her to the order because I want to. I'm sending her to the order because you have destroyed any case against her. The only thing that I have left are witnesses, you lot, who people have seen walking away from the Craywin Manor minutes before it caught on fire. Don't you think a judge might think that slightly suspicious and ask questions none of us want them to ask?
Ross doesn't say anything, just kind of looks over at Moiri. And then looks down.
Amelia, having been very, very quiet up until this point, would look at Cressida and say, if you send her anywhere, she will kill people. This is not a possibility or even a probability. This is what will happen. She has no control.
Cressida closes her eyes again. Then why did you burn down all the evidence that would have put her away for good? I have nothing, Amelia, but a pile of ash.
Well, you can ask Mary about that.
I don't want to ask Murray about that. And I don't like being angry with those I call friends. Despite your reservations, Ria's order is trustworthy. I would not have asked her to join you if I did not feel that so.
The order might be trustworthy, but she isn't.
Do you think it is the first violent criminal they have ever dealt with?
Violent, sure. Psychotic is another thing.
I won't argue the point with you, Amelia, because the truth of the matter is I tend to agree with you. But if she goes to court now, she will be let loose on the streets again. Because, she shrugs her hands again, I have no case. In fact, all I have is a group of non-guards carrying a tied half-elf away from a house that burned down minutes later. And your word against hers is not going to be enough. At least in the order, she has a chance at rehabilitation, or at the very least, she will be surrounded by people who are just as competent as she is.
Amelia kind of chews on her lip and looks away.
And then, like, with that, Cressida's face just grows really tired. I am glad that you are all safe. Vampire is not a foe many people walk away from. What is your next step?
Real quick, did he actually give a name, or...?
He did. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up.
Oh, yeah. Because I was going to say, she might know who that is. Probably not, but, you know.
Sure. Give me a second here.
Isn't it Ramuska or...
That sounds right.
Sounds fancy like that.
Minos?
Very close.
That's the name I have written down.
Yes. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Archminos, yes.
And that's the only name that he gave us?
He introduced his full self, Ramoska Archminos. He was very proud of it.
Gotcha.
Hopefully not an alias.
Amelia would say the vampire, the one who wasn't a fledgling, I suppose. He introduced himself. Ramuska Archiminos. I don't know if that name is recognizable, but it's something.
She shakes her head. Not to me. Perhaps the Church of Abydos. I mean, the Church of,
Abadar.
Nope.
No, different one?
Nope, I can't.
Asmodeus?
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
There you go.
GM snafu. She goes, perhaps the Church of Asmodeus might know more, but I do not. But, as... She kind of shrugs. On any other day, this would cause me great worry. But we already have enough on our hands. If the vampire is willing to wait a month, I will do what I can to hunt him down. For now, we have too much. And then she kind of shrugs. You suspect the Queen's physicians, do you not?
If you were asking about our next steps, I believe you just named it.
She nods. Then the Blessed Maiden. She kind of sits back. My guard is stretched thin. You know that. If you find something there, however, something of importance, something that is... well, I will offer what aid I can if it's needed. But it won't be much.
I think Freya would probably speak up to say, as long as you have some free dungeon cells, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Oh, I have plenty of those. Not many people are committing petty crimes. Not anymore.
Well, I wouldn't line these up with petty, but depending on what happens, we might be bringing quite a few people back.
Well, better that than dead, I suppose. I wish you luck. And like I said, if you find that it is beyond your capabilities, I will offer what help I can. Just get word to me. Agreed?
Freya would give Michelle a nod.
We'll let you know what we find.
She nods. And be safe. I would hate for you not to live long enough to make my anger bite me in my ass.
We'll be as safe as we can within reason.
She nods. Is there anything else I can do?
If I may, I have a question.
Of course.
She kind of gestures, she kind of shoos everybody else out of the room.
Oh my god.
Shall
Fine,
stays!
Mom.
Shall the revolts! No.
I love how this is always how we end our meetings with Cressida. All right, children, the parents have to talk. Get out. Everyone herds out of the office. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody out.
All right. Cressida leans forward. Yes?
I don't know if we covered this, but like, I'm pretty sure nobody in the group looks great. Like, we've probably just spent a couple hours shoveling bodies around.
Oh god, yeah, you guys are atrocious. Like, have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode where that smell just followed people? Yep.
Yeah, Weary looks bone-ass tired.
I gotta imagine.
And she doesn't so much sit as she just kind of falls into a chair.
Mm-hmm.
I will take your anger. It was my decision, and I will accept repercussions.
I'm not looking for repercussions, Miri. You, of all people, do you not realize how many lives you endangered? Not only was there a chance other buildings and people could have been burnt or hurt, but now I have to send a dangerous criminal to an order that I do trust, but whose journey I do not. I'm not here to chastise you, Murray. I just expected better.
Very well. I shall take that to heart.
And then she gives like a very long sigh. Call me. If you need aid, promise I will send what I can. And be safe. I have few enough friends left.
Do not overtax yourself, darling. There's only one of you.
I will take that advice when you take it yourself, she says with a smile.
Well, somebody's got to get their hands dirty. Around the law, of course.
Of course.
I did have one note of business, unrelated.
She'll nod.
It seems that despite my rather impressive opinion of you, that my son was not aware that you are a valuable ally. It seems perhaps he was not told correctly.
I'm not surprised. I'm not held in very high esteem in the Queen's court. Not anymore.
Mary's eyes kind of crinkle up in a smile when she says, I will endeavor to correct this. If there ever comes a time when you need to, say, coordinate, I will do what I can to make sure it happens.
So you cut out that one word there. If there's ever comes a time when you what?
When she said, if there's ever a time when you need to, say, coordinate.
Ah, gotcha. She nods. I don't know what the future holds. But if our worst fears are true, I think Corvosa may be in for some dark times. Take care of your son. He's in a very dangerous position.
And when she says that, Mary's not super over emotional, but when she says that, it's very visible that like all that emotion just wells up all at once, and then she kind of has to force it back.
Gotcha. Give me a second here.
I know.
Ooh, that didn't show up. Why did that not show up? Oh well, doesn't matter. I rolled an insight check. I'll figure out why that didn't show up later. She'll nod.
I know. I pray for his safety, but I fear it.
Cressida will open up a drawer in her desk and pull out a decanter and 2 glasses and pour a very thick brown liquid into it. And she'll push one over to Miri and raise up hers, and she'll say, "To fools and friends."
To those who are both.
And she takes it down in one swig.
Weary will grimace, but do the same.
Oh, it burns. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And then, with that, of course, Cressida will see you out and then get back to work. Yes, Ross.
While all of that was going on, Ross wants to go up to like anybody. Is there anybody that she would recognize having been in there? She's kind of looking for somebody who maybe is like in charge, like sergeant of the guard, or like a patrol manager or something.
Field marshal?
No, not her.
Sure. Roll me an intelligence check.
Come on,
Shall check Ross's intelligence.
Well,
Oh.
wow.
Well, all these uniforms look the same to you. Now, if you wanted Ross to point out the standing and how powerful a noble is just by their dress, she could do that. But guards, I mean, they all look the same.
They're all in the same goddamn uniform.
Okay, then I will.
Alright, good, it shows that. That was just a test.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
I mean, you see plenty of them. You could approach one at random.
Sure, I will do that.
Okay. Sure.
So, I'll just go up to one, and like somebody that I see that's far away from the group.
Gotcha. Okay. There's a guard. There's a guard that looks like he's bringing like empty food trays from the dungeon.
Oh, good. He's that low down on the totem.
But you notice that his armor is maybe shinier than everyone else's?
Sure. So I'm gonna go up to him and I'm gonna ask, you seem like, a man about the streets, and you know what you're doing. You know what's going on around in the city and stuff. If somebody,
who are you?
If somebody wanted to get information that was maybe not illegal, but
Oh my god.
Where would you go to find somebody that can look for information for me?
I think I'm gonna have to go talk to my sergeant about that one. I'm new. Excuse me. Like he looks at you wide, especially when you said not illegal. And like starts backing up and kicking over trays and headed down the hallway.
Ross, what are you doing?
I know what she's doing.
Nothing.
She's
Private investigator.
She's rolling a 1 is what she's doing.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, that didn't work out so well.
Oh my god. I'm just imagining this. Yeah, I'm just imagining this kid like fresh out of training. He's barely got little scriggly little baby hairs on his chin. She walks up like, yeah, you look like you're important.
I like the way I picture it is that, well, his uniform's shinier, so he must be more important. When it's probably the reverse. His uniform's shinier because the lowest guy on the totem pole has to shine his armor. It's like that.
I'm kind of picturing this guy as looking like Shaggy from like the old Scooby-Doo cartoons.
Oh my god.
Tall and lanky, sure. All right, we'd say about this time Weary comes out.
Smelling like blood, guts, and alcohol.
Yay! It's the Holy Trinity.
I think Freya, with Mary coming out. Wait, I might get not. I forget sometimes. Anyway, she would walk over to the door probably, and hold it open while she's walking out. But would make her own way inside. Because she did want to ask something. She just kind of got shooed away.
Oh, gotcha.
She didn't want to fight that.
She sees Cressida putting away alcohol.
No, actually, she sees Cressida chugging the decanter.
Oh, boy.
And you open the door and she goes, Freya. You had something else?
Yes. If now's not a good time, I could come by later.
I think I have bourbon coming out of my nose. So sure. I think it's as good a time as any.
I think she'll do her best to pull out like a handkerchief or something and try to go offer it to her.
She'll wave you away.
Sorry, say that again?
She'll wave you away. And she'll like take a deep breath. Yes, Freya. And she'll like plug the decanter with the cork and put it in the drawer and like close it maybe just a little too hard with her hip.
Yeah. Okay. So probably a little nervous after that, but I think she's gonna make an insight check to see if she's okay.
Sure.
I mean, obviously she's tired,
Right.
but other things than that.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an insight check.
That's a 12.
I mean, for a woman that was just chugging, she's holding herself remarkably steady.
Yeah, it's better than a 1. That's true. I guess that's normal for her. To be fair, we probably don't walk in on her that much like this.
Cressida, the secret alcoholic.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, what I meant by that was rather than knocking, she was like holding the door open from Weary and making her own way in. But,
Right,
but that's
gotcha.
okay. I don't think Cressida was probably expecting that.
No.
I think the implication is that as soon as Weary turned away, it was just
Yep.
Chug City.
One last chug. Because it's not like she was downing the decanter. She wasn't
Right.
shotgunning it, but she was drinking straight from the bottle.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. But Freya would look over at her a bit nervously, probably. She would have closed the door behind her.
Okay.
But she would say, I did want to speak with you. You seemed concerned about finding evidence for Celestina. If you really needed evidence, not that you have to trust me, but I could just read her again for you.
She shakes her head. Unfortunately, such things are not... Well, it's called not admissible in court. Because it is possible for some people of strong magical power to alter or resist such things. And since you and I would never know if that was taking place, a judge cannot count that. Not without extenuating circumstances.
She nods. But just says, well, if you need my services with anyone else, or for more local matters, let me know.
She considers you for some time, and she goes, Standard operating procedure is not to employ such tactics because it opens too many doors. For example, let's say someone of less than moral character than you offers their services and, well, you can see how any number of things could go wrong with that. That said, you are with people that I trust with my life. And if they trust you, I trust you. And if we are in for dark times ahead, as I fear we may be, I may have use for that.
She gives a shallow nod, but it says, well, I'll be around with them, and I'll try to keep them from burning down more houses, I guess.
Yes, please. Like, she looks all earnest. Please do that.
Freya's just kind of like, she has her hands clenched together, just looking down at the ground, like not really sure, because was she even there when they were working on setting the house on fire? I don't think she was.
I think she was outside.
No, the three of us. Yeah, the three of us were outside.
Yeah.
I don't think you or Rhea knew that they had set it on fire. This is probably the first they're finding out about it even burning down.
Yeah, so say, well, where we're going, I would rather that place not be set on fire anyway, and I'll keep a better eye on them.
Just remind them that, like, she's trying to find the words. Just ask them, what would Cressida do?
Making that a bumper sticker.
Would you guys stop calling everything I'm gonna say in the chat? It's like the third time someone has said what I'm gonna say when I say it. No. It's hilarious. I'm with a bunch of psychics in here.
Oh my.
And then she'll nod.
She'll probably give a kind of small smile, like a bit of relief, and she'll say, I could do that. I don't know if they'd take that very seriously, but...
Oh, they'll take it seriously. Or the next time we talk, it won't be as pleasant as this one.
Maybe I'll stay away from that chat then, but... hopefully I don't have to do that. We'll see if I'm able to maintain them.
She nods. Let us hope. There are gods and goddesses after all. I've heard of bigger miracles.
Mm-hmm. She would also ask, about the Carolyn Manor. I know that they did set it ablaze. Were there actually any casualties because of that?
No. We were lucky. There was a strong wind, but our guards caught it early, and we were able to stamp out any small fires that spread. No one was injured, and no major property damage.
That's good to hear.
And she'll lower her voice. Between us, maybe they don't need to know exactly the extent. The important point is, it could have been devastating.
She nods with a more serious expression. Yeah. She says, well, as I said, do my best to keep them from such practices. I might have difficulty with how hard-headed they can be at times, but other than that, I will do my best to keep from endangering the general public.
She'll nod. Oh, and tell them to stop by the quartermaster on the way out. Almost forgot. Right. And all the, well, and she kind of, does that little hand of, you know.
Yeah. I think she would say, I don't want to be keeping them too long. But thank you for your time, Cressida.
She'll nod. Of course, Freya. My condolences for your brother.
She kind of goes into a bit of a stupor with a more anxious and depressed expression. But
and Cressida gets that oh crap look.
Yeah.
Just for a moment. And she'll go, well, many reports to do. You have yourself a good day.
I think a kind of unsure, she'll nod in response, but she'll give a subtle wave, and she'll make her way back out.
All right. You guys see Freya open and close the door behind her.
To be fair, Aras doesn't see anything because she's still waiting for Steve to come back with his supervisor.
Actually, roll me a D100.
How the hell do I do that here?
You'll have to roll the D10 and the scatter die. What's it called?
No, just roll the D10 twice.
That'll work, yeah.
So that's 54%. All right. Yeah, it takes about a minute or so. But the tall, lanky guard comes down with a female by his side. This woman looks like she's in her mid-30s. She has a small white cape hanging down to a cloak hanging down to like her waist. And yeah, she was asking about finding information that definitely wasn't illegal.
I need a private investigator.
Oh. Okay. Listen, ma'am. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure that the height of a plague is exactly the time to be investigating your husband's infidelity, but to each their own. Yeah, I know a couple of people. I can give you their information.
I appreciate it.
No, it's fine. You wait. You're one of them, right? The Cressida's outside mercenaries.
Yes.
I heard about Eels Down. You know, DeVargo killed a friend of mine.
He did?
Yeah. And I heard that bastard got what was coming to him.
Well... yeah. I guess that's one way of looking at it.
She takes out a piece of paper and writes something down on it. Folds it up. Hands it to you. I'm sure your husband has the best of intentions, but I know a guy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Come on, Pete. And she just like turns around like a perfect about face and marches off down the hall. And the tall, lanky guard like keeps looking back over his shoulder at you.
Have a good day, Pete.
He kind of like reddens in the face and keeps on walking.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So roughly about the same time Freya gets out of the room, Aras comes back. And Shala goes, so what now?
Before we leave or go off on our own endeavors, Cressida asked that we stop by the quartermaster. Not very specifically did she leave a reason, but I'm sure there's something.
He's on the way out, so I think that should be fine.
Well, if we are all assembled, I suppose we'll make our way there.
You guys start making your way there, and Shala like skips a step. Oh, I need to go ask Cressida something. I'll be right back. I'll meet you at the quartermaster. And she like turns around and walks swiftly back towards Cressida.
Oh my god, everyone has to have their own private little party with fucking Cressida.
And you actually hear, like, down the hall, Cressida's voice, oh, for the love of... Like, and then the door closes.
Gotta put it back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Can't drink in peace.
Let the lady be an alcoholic indeed.
She's not an alcoholic, allegedly.
She's pre-alcohol.
She's definitely pro-alcohol.
Listen, the first step is admitting she has a...
Look, if you have a flask at work, You have a problem. You don't have to admit it or
Unless-
not. You have a problem.
Here's the
Unless
thing, though.
work is your life.
Here's the thing, though. I think her problem is not the alcohol. Her problem is us.
Are you trying to say we drive her to drink?
Wait a second. Are the PCs about to hit a moment of introspection? No, that must be out of character. All right, so do you guys go to the quartermaster?
Yeah, and as I recall, this dude was kind of a prick, but let's revisit him.
Yeah, so on your way out, you stop by the quartermaster, and he is behind a desk, scratching on a pad, and he seems to be counting, oddly enough, pairs of shoes.
Jesus.
That's probably not the weirdest thing I've seen a quartermaster count.
He looks up. Ah, yes. Cressida said that you'd be by. He goes through his book. Yes, payment for services rendered. Something to do with Racker's Alley. No, there must be some kind of mistake here. And he looks up at you guys again. Very well. And he'll reach into a drawer and pull out a very large sack, and he'll begin piece by piece counting out 3,500 gold.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Amelia's about to have a fucking heart attack.
That's right. We're expensive.
Oh my God.
And he's doing it almost like with reluctance, like it's his conscientious objection. But he does it. He counts it out, and then he looks at all of you and he goes, "For services rendered, the Crimson Guard would like to thank you for your efforts and your apparently exemplary job, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Long live Queen Iosa." And then he goes back to counting pairs of shoes.
Amelia's just staring at this fucking sack of gold clamped over her mouth.
Nope, there's no sack. It's just a
just a pile of fucking gold.
He did not give the effort to put it in another sack. He just counted it out onto the desk. You guys are gonna worry about it.
That's okay. I'll just take my bag of holding and put it on the counter edge and just hold it open and try to scoop as much in. Then I'll go. We can sort that out later.
And as you do that, Shala comes running up a bit breathless. Sorry. What did I miss?
Oh my God. Amelia just shakes her head and walks out, just like, God.
Amelia? Wait, and like Shala like runs after you to catch up.
What?
I know you're angry at me. I know. I'm sorry. But
she blinks and frowns a little bit, like, what? Oh.
I convinced Cressida to hold on to her until we have all of this sorted out. And then I convinced her to let us take her to Ria's order. That way, if she gets out, if there's a danger, if something happens, then you will be there to stop her. Right?
Amelia looks at her a little bit stunned and just kind of mouth hanging open a little bit goes, thank you.
She brightens up at that. You're welcome. I mean, it's the least I can do. I mean, I didn't really do anything. I guess I'm just rambling now. I'm going to go back with the others. And she kind of just turns and walks away. It's the Guards Cultural Exchange Program.
God. Really expanding their horizons.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, they've got a lot of spaces opening up.
Clearly. Jesus. All right. Well, I guess Amelia's going to wait for everyone by the front gate unless someone else has business to deal with Cressida.
That reminds me.
Oh my god.
I think I forgot something. Give me a moment.
Yeah, it's not even different people; it's the same ones over again.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, we'll pull out a character now. Where are you guys headed? I'm assuming to rest, or do you have other plans?
As much as Freya would like to be hasty about this, I don't think we're gonna survive if we don't rest. Because that's probably like a serious fight.
Hey,
Going to the Blessed Maiden.
Not a fight, because that's literally a hospice full of sick.
Okay. When a Dyson's like, I'm a Dyson, rawr, and fires like necromancy at us, it might become a fight.
Then we'll be like, there are sick people about.
Yeah, I'm just saying, worst case scenario, it'd probably be a good idea in case mistake or
like
not
I'm
benevolent.
not arguing that point. We definitely need to rest, but also I fucking hope that we don't have to have a fight in the middle of a shit ton of sick people.
Listen,
I agree.
If worst comes to worst, you guys are just gonna burn it down.
Oh my god.
No, I said that I wouldn't.
I told them all off session. Because we discussed off session what they wanted to do with Justinia, because I don't like taking choices away from characters unless there's really good reasons for it. And then like a week later, I was like, so I made some rolls. And I think I'm taking the choice away from you guys.
Oh my god.
I am thankful.
Well, thank the dice. Because I had to, I just hadn't done it. I had to roll to see what happened with the fire. There wasn't, you guys were, it's not like you guys hadn't considered it, right? It's not like you guys knew there were buildings butted up against it and just set everything on fire. No, you did actually consider that, okay, it's far enough away, it should be okay. Though, on the other hand, none of your people are firefighters, so it wouldn't be exactly a professional assessment. So there wasn't a great chance of there being massive damage, but it certainly gave the guards a hell of a time. In any case.
I mean, if she had gone quick enough, it wouldn't have been that much of a blaze. There was still quite a
Weary
while.
did give her a warning of
let's
you might
make
want to
this
get
about
back
them.
quick. Exactly. We gave them ample warning.
I mean, it wasn't on fire when we left, you know.
All right. So back to the West Dock.
Would I have had a chance to look at the paper without other people around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I would consider where that is, what the paper said.
Sure. Yeah. So you would look at the paper, and it's just an address. It's an address up in North Point.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, yes. Are you guys headed back to your dormitory?
I think so.
Yep.
Is that what we're calling it now?
I don't know.
Our warehouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys make it back to the warehouse, and you find it looks a bit different. There's hammocks hanging everywhere. There's some throw rugs on the ground. There's a very big, what looks like shag rug with several toys on it, and a lot of the orphans are playing a primitive, not primitive. Everything's primitive in this world. Wow, I'm so sorry. Your GM just got specious there for a second.
I can't believe you, Squeak.
They're playing a children's like a board game where they have an actual board and they have pieces, but instead of dice, they have these 4 wooden sticks, and they toss them up in the air, and how they land is how they move. And it's a really popular game among kids, and they are just having a grand time. There's also cooking utensils hung up in the back, close to the exit to the outside river, and Anna is currently cooking dinner.
We should probably wash up before that.
Yeah.
We've been trudging through bodies.
Didn't we? Like we went and like bathed in the river or something.
Oh yeah, did I mention they were playing the game until they saw you guys standing there covered in gore?
Oh god.
No,
yeah,
I think
Mary
that
would absolutely insist that.
Yeah, I think that there's no way in the world Mary would forget something like that when the kids were involved. So yes, you all took a bath. I will grant that.
Whoa. Ross is gonna ask. I mean, would I know if there's like a bathhouse in the
sure.
city? I'm sure there is.
Roll me intelligence with proficiency.
There you go with intelligence again.
Well, so there's no longer knowledge local anymore, but it's still a knowledge check. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
you
plus my proficiency, so 27.
You know 16 different bathhouses throughout Corvosa.
And I'm gonna mention to everybody, you know what? I'm gonna go take myself off to have a nice bath. And go off.
All right. Like I imagine like you wait until everyone's in the Jaeger River and then you're just like, yeah, you know. So Aras heads off to go to a bathhouse.
Amelia's super confused, just like, where is she going?
I feel like that's an easy way to get this disease during this time period because of the spread of pathogens.
Silence you. Obviously, Aras, a scientist, would have no way of knowing that.
I'm not actually going to a bathhouse.
I know.
I know. I was just thinking about that, like if a character would actually do that.
I could do that.
Yeah, you could. Only you. Fine.
All right. So let's handle that first while we're here then. Because we'll handle the other ones first because that'll be simple for now. You take a bath, you all come in, and you see that Anna has bought lots of things to spruce the place up. She's actually done quite a decent job of it, and you would find out that she made it a game, and the kids all helped, and they were able to get everything set up really quickly. So this place actually looks somewhat comfortable now. She even had enough money left over to buy about 5 or 6 lamps to put around the warehouse so that when the sun goes down, you still have a decent amount of light within the warehouse.
Cozy.
Yeah. And with that, I'll say real quick, we'll run over to whatever Ross has planned. What do you have planned?
Well, first I'm gonna go somewhere and buy, I don't know, find a place where I can just kind of wash off. And then I'm gonna go to the address on the piece of paper.
Absolutely. So you do go to a bathhouse. It's gonna cost you 5 silver.
Sure.
It's normally 2 silver, but messy customers. And then you make your way to the address. You find that it is, as I said, in North Point. It's a fairly small building, crowded with many other buildings, and it has a sign out front of it. Says, the sign is very well crafted, but simple, and it says, "Investigator extraordinaire. If you lost it or he lied about it, I can find it."
Whew. Bold words.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I will knock on the door or go in. I'm not sure how this works, or both.
Well, I was gonna say those are 2 very different things. I'm gonna need a commitment to one.
I mean, I'm assuming it looks like a business.
I mean, the door is closed.
So I'll knock on the door.
Okay.
I don't know if it has like an open sign. Come on in.
Oh, no, it does not. It's like, I'll knock on the door, or I'll just go in. Yes? You hear a call from the other side. Door's open.
Okay, I will walk in.
No, I mean, it's like the door is actually shut. You'll have to open it.
Oh, well, yes. Okay, sorry. I open the
Gotcha.
door. Is it locked?
Welcome to D&D, where I make everyone describe every single action. Inside you find a fairly straightforward house.
Can I check for traps?
Poison gas.
Roll perception.
Inside you find a single bed, a small kitchen. It's a studio, so there's no other rooms. It's just the one room, right?
Mm-hmm.
A small kitchen, small bed. It's not lavish by any means, but it's comfortable. And there is a desk in the back on the other side with candles that are half burnt down, and a variety of things on the desk. I mean, it almost looks like a junk drawer. I don't know if you guys have junk drawers in the other parts of the country, but it's a drawer that you open it up and it's just where you keep all your odds and ends that you might need someday.
Yep.
This desk looks like that. All kinds of things on it, from pins to rope to shoes to what looks like maybe some sort of magnifying glass to a very nice beaker with actual measurements written on it. It must have come from a laboratory or something of that nature, or from the university or something of that nature. All kinds of things.
Do I recognize the beaker?
Yeah, you recognize that it is a beaker.
Okay. It doesn't have my name on it.
One.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like, I mean, look, all beakers look alike. There's not... there's
Except
no way...
that almost all beakers have a lab name written on it. That's okay.
Not in Corvosa. He looks up and he goes, "Ah, yes, miss. How can I help?"
I trust by your sign that you're good at finding information about people.
Ha, that I am. And he stands up and he looks like this. That is not the name. That is not the name at all that I have. Okay. Repurposing a picture here. His name is actually Gordine Pace.
Okay.
Gordeenpace. And I had written his name down, but apparently the game does not care what I want to call him. It only seems to care what it wants to call him. What am I doing? What happened?
We lost his image.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out how do I fix this. Nope, that doesn't help. What is going on? How do I...
Did you just rip it? It looks like a slash.
I drew something on it now, and now it's got a... There. Okay, that's better. There.
Squeeze. Stop breaking it.
Does it look like Nicolas Cage to anybody else?
Oh my god, that's who it is!
It looks just like him. That's what I was thinking. And he stands up and he goes, "Good to meet you. My name's Gordon Pace. Have a seat."
Are you doing a Nicolas Cage voice now?
No, what? No. Why would you think that?
Oh.
All right.
Tell me about your issue. First, I'm sorry, if I could have a name.
Oh, the name is Aras Corvosa.
It's gonna sound like I'm lying because I just used the city name, but I promise that's what my name is.
He nods. I see, Aras. Pleasure to meet you. Well, have you lost something?
No, I'm looking for information on somebody, particularly where they came from, who their family is.
Ah, that is a service I can provide, absolutely. It is not cheap, however. Well, if you found me, considering that I don't particularly advertise, you must have at least heard of me or been referred to me by someone you trust. I am one of the best, if I do say so myself. Not a matter of bragging, but a matter of success. There are very few cases that I have not solved, and typically that tends to be because those who hire me are willing to pay for good service. Are you willing to pay for good service, Aras?
Definitely. Question is, how much is that service going to cost?
Well, my going rate is usually 500 gold a week, plus expenses.
All right.
Now is the time to haggle. Says a voice that's really like Negamweary says in your brain.
Metagaming pigeon.
Yes. And what if the information I'm wanting takes less or more time? I'm sorry. What if the information I'm wanting requires travel?
As I said, expenses would be on your end. If it requires travel, well, he kind of shrugs and leans back. I assure you, I'm worth the cost. Where is this travel that you're asking for exactly?
Chiliax?
That's not too far. I do understand your concerns. I can't exactly investigate while I'm traveling. So, while I am in travel, I would require expenses paid and 50 gold for the trip.
And what would these expenses? Like room and board? I'm assuming.
Room, board,
I mean, expenses
transportation,
can be quite a lot.
And of course, any expenses that I acquire while investigating whatever you need me to find. Keep in mind, though, and rest assured that I keep very detailed notes of what expenses I do incur and the prices, and encourage even you to check that those prices are fair.
And how much is discretion going to cost?
That's included in the price. So,
All right.
it's a man, woman, or thing?
A family. I need to find out information on the Valentine family. The mother and father of one Shala Valentine.
His face loses its smirk.
And the events leading up to the events leading up to Shala's departure from Chiliax.
I don't think I'm going to be able to help you, Miss Aras.
And why is that?
He sits back. Look, you seem like a good kid. So, take my word. Whatever this Shala's done, whatever you think you're looking for, quit while you're ahead.
What do you mean?
He kind of looks around. 50 gold, right now, on the desk, and I'll tell you exactly why I won't take this job.
Done.
You put 50 gold on the desk.
Yeah, put 50 gold.
He takes it. I am not a soft or cowardly man, and I have investigated some of the worst. 5 years ago, an ambassador from Chiliax asked me to do something very similar to what you were suggesting, wanted me to investigate the Valentines, a famous bardic family. The thing was, the man was quite convinced that his younger brother was dating one of their daughters. And he was hoping to find some form of evidence of such a relationship. She had been attempting to seduce him his brother, and he was trying to get hard evidence of such a thing so that he could take it to her family and get her to stop. He had a thing against bards, you see. He thought they were not good material for a young noble like his young brother, but he needed proof or evidence to push his case. So, I did what any good investigator does. I followed the girl for a day. And I'm really good at following people, Miss Ross. Very good. As far as I knew, she never saw me. Pretty enough, I suppose, if you're into deathly pale skin and long black hair. Probably about 25. As far as I could see, she never even knew I was there. But the next day, the person who hired me showed up at my door, along with his younger brother, his mother, his father, and their children. Dead. Strangled. Now, I can take a hint. Whoever this family is involved with, whatever they're doing, they do not like it when people pry into their business, and they are willing to kill an entire family simply because someone followed them. So I'm afraid, Miss Ross, that I will not be able to take your case.
Well, I greatly appreciate the information, and I completely understand.
This information didn't come from me.
Of course not. Of course not.
So, like I said, kid, take my advice. They might just be bards, but bards with deep pockets that can hire very dangerous people. People without morals. Best, whatever they did, you forget it and move on.
I appreciate it, and I will do just that. Thank you for the warning and the information, and I hope you have a great day.
He nods. You as well, Mr. Ross.
Okay. I will walk out and head back towards the West Docks.
All right. One thing I should point out. 25 is way too old for Shala.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Shala is quite clearly maybe 18, 19.
Okay. So, and that was 5 years ago, right?
Correct.
So 30. Okay. Cool.
All right. Why are you all rolling insight and intelligence checks?
I was trying to make an insight check on Raya's claim that she's an innocent cinnamon roll, but I think she's just a warmonger.
I think your insight, innocent cinnamon rolls are hard to read.
Yeah, I can't tell. How do you roll that bad on... What the
So, Ross, we'll say you get back. I mean, obviously that did not take long.
No,
And you
not,
didn't
not
even
at all.
have to pay for traveling expenses.
Well, technically, that's all she paid for. 50 gold for traveling expenses.
But even if she only looked 25, that could have been the mom, honestly. There's a lot of makeup on them, but we would not know.
And of course, Ross, you find the same thing that they found when they got home. The place looks much more lively and homey. And
So,
there's
just
hammocks. Soft, glorious hammocks. No more sleeping on wooden floors.
out of curiosity, because I remember she said that she was going off to go find a bathhouse. Did she actually ever
Yes,
bathe before coming back?
She did.
Okay.
She had to pay extra because she was so dirty. Basically, the person at the bathhouse was like, actually, what happened was, pinched the nose, threw the towel, said, "Pay on your way out," and pointed to the bath.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, like, that'd be kind of weird if she just showed up and didn't bathe.
No,
never mind
she looks cleaner than the rest of you because she actually bathed as opposed to dunking themselves in the river.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So you guys are all back at the house. We'll pass the evening by until someone wants to do something or discuss something. No, no one. Good. I mean, it's not like there's any information that I feel is relevant or important.
No. I was trying to think about
how to approach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, I was gonna say Freya would, at least if she understood that we were moving out to the Blessed Maiden tomorrow, she tried to congregate them some to talk about that, because, I mean, we did just get paid a whole bunch, and that means better stuff to go buy, keep us alive, you know. Even if it's a decent trek, it's probably worthwhile. Because I don't remember how we're looking at, like, potions and stuff. So that's a thing. That's probably in group loot.
Okay, so we'll say Freya gets everyone together. Say over dinner. Over a lovely pot roast cooked by Anna. No bugs at all. Not even one in this meal.
Really missing out on that flavor.
Well, Anna's a traditionalist. Okay, are you insight checking the pot roast?
Yes. You said there were no bugs. I had to make sure.
It's not an insight check. It's got nothing for you.
I mean, it could be lying to me. No.
Freya reads the pot roast. No, what was it for?
It was. I was seriously just joking. I'm sorry.
Okay, gotcha. No, it's fine. All right. So we'll say everyone's at the dinner table. For the NPCs parts, Anna's looking very chipper. The place is somewhat livable. The children are happy. She is in a much better mood. She has not asked for details. She's learned at this point she probably doesn't want to know. Especially not when kids are in earshot. And she is just enjoying the meal. Shala also seems to be in a better mood now that Amelia... Well, Amelia, I mean, it's a good question. Amelia was angry at her, at least at first, but how did she act around Shala? Did Amelia give her the cold shoulder or anything like that?
Aside from like the initial outburst, like there's literally no change from the brief amount of time that they've known each other. So I don't know.
But she definitely seems to be in a better mood now that maybe she has found a compromise, a solution, something. So and she's actually in the moment chatting with Rhea as they eat dinner. Pretty lightheartedly, actually, about differing. It's kind of like, of course, if Rhea would partake, a friendly banter about how violins are better than flutes, and back and forth.
Nice.
Nerds.
Let me live my life.
All right. Yeah. At this point, Amelia continues to be about the same as she was when Shala first met her.
Gotcha.
So no real. It's not like she's brightened up at all, and it's not really like she's giving her a cold shoulder either. So
right. She's being Amelia.
Yeah, she's clearly lost in her thoughts at this point.
All right. So everyone's at dinner. Who wants to bring what up?
Nose goes.
Oh, well, probably
it.
looking around a bit timidly. Freya will speak up and she'll say, do we want to discuss any plans or how we want to approach the Blessed Maiden tomorrow? I know we haven't exactly scouted it yet, but I think it'd be prudent to at least be careful. Looking around.
Everyone's trying to swallow their food.
Yeah.
I mean, the Blessed Maiden is just like.
Oh no!
Oh God!
Who's here?
Adrian's at the door.
Oh no! I just realized that none of you could hear me, even though I wasn't muted.
The Queen's knocking.
Oh shit!
It's the Valentines.
All right. Were you saying something, Blue?
Whoa! What did I miss?
Here to
Yeah,
perform.
sorry. No, I just I was talking and nobody was responding to me, so I'm assuming nobody was hearing me. Murray was saying, I believe this is a conversation that should take place away from young ears.
I wasn't aware. Well, let me ask to the DM: are they near us? Because I'd assume that
they're still.
We would have congregated.
I mean, like it's dinner time. They wouldn't be at the same table as you. They'd be on their own tables. So low conversation probably wouldn't be within their earshot.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're at the big kids table. Thank you.
Sadly.
I mean, the
she
kids' table does seem more entertaining.
Ain't nobody stopping you.
she would respond in kind at least. Well, we don't have to discuss the grim details right now. I mostly mean if we want to head out to Timbronius's or make any other stops.
Well, I suppose you would be the most familiar with. Oh God, what's her name?
Raylan.
Raylan is her name.
Raylan. Or in Diason. Either will work, yeah.
Rayon is in the fabric?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't mind the final boss being a carpet.
I mean, is that how you pronounce it?
Let me go and make some notes.
Oh God.
There's an L in there, isn't there, Joe?
Yeah,
Raylan.
he said Raylan.
Yeah,
Not
no,
Raylan.
Sib, the L was just soft.
Okay.
But yeah, I suppose you would be the most familiar with her, aren't you?
She looks down. She looks down a bit dejected when you say that, and she says, "I suppose I can't say that I knew anything about her relationship to, well, Asmodeus or being in Diason, though. I do know about her work ethic and her personality. if that would help. But the most important thing to know is that... Excuse me? Oh, Ugathor, that being the deity, right?
Yeah, her. So, and Diason is a worshiper of Ugathor.
Forgive me. Yeah, I would have said Ugathor.
Right,
just
right.
Not
that's why I was correcting you silently. Yeah.
But she would say, I know that she's very dangerous, and she's not the type to hesitate. Any mistakes we make tomorrow or whenever we choose to head out will definitely be taken advantage of. Which does bring to question as much as I'd like to keep her alive for my own reasons, at least for a moment. She is very dangerous, and I don't want to go against Ria's views, but it could be risky if we aren't serious about this.
Oh my fucking god. Ria.
I mean, you could try to convince her, but she is forwarding the notion at least, like, this person's bad. That'd be like trying to spare Gadrian.
Well, I've already gotten Jolistina spared.
Jolestina was easy though.
I mean, that is stepping it up, and Diason's murdered thousands of people through plague.
Yeah.
Like Jolistina needs to get on her level.
Please no.
Yeah,
Do not
Those are
encourage
rookie
her
numbers.
to level up.
Jolistina, you've killed what? A couple dozen? Those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump those numbers up.
Oh.
Christ.
Yeah.
Alright, your final boss is a carpet with a picture of Matthew McConaughey on it.
I like this.
Wow.
Sorry, I know, breaking the mood. I'm stopped now.
CR30 carpet. Anyway.
God damn it. Oh my god. I don't know if this was on purpose, but was that a Contact reference?
Uh-huh.
Oh god damn it.
I'm sure it was.
Oh. Because he's a man of the cloth. Fuck. Alright, moving on.
You nerds are done.
Oh, anyways. So yes, right. Amelia looks over at Freya and says, do you know anything about her abilities, what she can do?
Out of character, I will say, I'm pretty sure she would know that a lot of what Faust could do was taught to him, at least in a way, by her, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So she would have an idea that very, very similar, just much stronger.
Yes, so here's what you would know. She's similar to Faust, but she is, as a physician, incredibly skilled.
Mm-hmm.
She is, I wouldn't say world-renowned as a physician, but certainly what would be considered like a master at her craft when it comes to treating people and surgery.
Mm-hmm. And Freya would respond, well, the most prominent thing, although this may seem weird to bring up, is that at her core she is a physician, a doctor of sorts. She knows where to strike, how to kill. She's not someone who's going to hold back at the sight of gore or blood. And although I hate to bring him up, I'm sure in a way you saw Faust's unusual approach of solving problems is uncommon magic. Likely
Amelia immediately frowns and goes, I haven't. I never met your brother.
She grows silent for a moment, but she says, necromancy. That sort of casting. I would not doubt that Endiason, one who's spread this plague and has killed thousands, would dabble in such arts and likely be of a much higher potency than he was.
Shala would nod. I don't know much about Ugathora, but she is called the Pallid Princess. She is a goddess of undeath. It would stand to reason that a worshipper of her would deal in such arts.
Further, it would stand to reason that the book in which Endiason's name is written has a spell for turning oneself into
GM, I would like to make like an intelligence roll, maybe, to see if Amelia would have run into anything like this previously.
Anything like what exactly?
Like, I guess a lich spell type thing? I don't know.
Well,
Ooh.
lich spell, like, I'm sorry. You would know that there's no such thing as a lich spell. To make a lich is quite a bit more involved.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, liches are technically undead. I don't know if this is what they're specifically talking about. I don't know.
Roll me an intelligence check. No, roll me a religion check.
Oh,
actually, everyone can roll me in a religion check if you have proficiency in it. Roll me a religion check. Amelia, roll me one regardless because of your past.
Oh, fucking, I guess 15. It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's better than anyone else's.
Apparently.
Hooray for backstory. Rhea and Wiri, I mean, you've heard of Ugathora, but your orders, Sarenrae and the Paladin Order of Love, respectively, tend to try and stay as far away as possible, because that is, if you could consider there to be an antithesis of Sarenrae and love, it would be Ugathora, who is a goddess of plague and death. Amelia, you know this. There are many reports of followers of Ugathora being undead themselves or wishing for undeath. And you know that as Shala said, the Pallid Princess is a common name for her, because Ugathora has the visage of a deathly pale, beautiful undead woman.
Okay. And as far as like the undead part, like, are they actually turning themselves into zombies or vampires or what? Or would she not know that?
You wouldn't know that much. The reports, the things you've heard, the stories you've heard from your past, especially from people like Rolth, is that, I mean, Ugathora is not exactly picky. It's not like she uses just one kind of undead. She uses whatever is needed for the job. Just like Rolth. Rolth is very open-minded like that.
Oh, so sweet of him.
Yeah, what a sweetheart.
Anyways.
Miss him already.
God. Would she know if he had any involvement with Ugathor or anything like that, or any interest?
Interest, absolutely. Involvement, no. He did not have any when you knew him. He had a fascination with Ugathor as he was a necromancer himself, but he never associated with them because Rolth had a fascination with the undead, not necessarily a desire to become one.
I suppose that's fair. All right. Isn't there a detect undead spell or something?
Well, I think paladins have that as just a general feature. I think, right?
Let me see. There's detect evil, detect magic. That's it.
Oh, they have detect magic. That might be what it is.
Yeah, there is
Well,
a
and
detect evil.
Detect evil would not tell you if it's a zombie or not, but
Nope.
I mean,
Well,
that's still pretty good.
We have divine sense, which I can know the location of celestials, fiends, and undead
yes.
within a certain range of me.
That's what I was going to say. Is that yeah? There's no spell for it. I was looking it up just now. Paladins can pretty much at will detect undead.
Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. So if
I mean, they're cool like that.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess they're pretty okay.
Whoa.
But so if we run into someone who is undead, it's like Spidey sense. It just pops up, right?
Yep. And you
well,
can tell
she would have to use her action to actually search for them. It's not necessarily Spidey sense.
Exactly.
But
It's not a reaction, it's an action, and it's a general direction, not a pinpoint accuracy.
Is there a general area radius?
it's
Yeah.
60
60
feet
feet.
around you.
Mhm.
So here, I can post it in chat.
And it's a bubble, so that would go above. Like say there's one on the second floor right above you, she'd be able to tell generally.
Okay. But yeah, that still gives us it would give us something, because if we go in there and she senses undead, that's going to give us important information.
Well, no, that's the place. Yeah. And she should have about, I think, 4 or 5 uses too. So depends on her charisma mod, but
Yeah, I have 5.
5, yeah. So that's good.
Mrs. Popular.
Alrighty. Any other
But pretend you don't know that in character.
right. No, I don't know that shit. No.
Yeah.
But
Be
it
kinda
would be
weird for
fair
your
to say
character to know that.
Amelia would bring up that the cult of Ugathor generally deals in undead.
Right. I just meant the
Yeah.
paladin stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we could even say in character. I mean, would Rhea mention such an ability?
Well, I used it in Riker's Alley.
Right. So I
Did
don't see
you-
any reason for her to hide. And even if no one caught on it, I'm sure Rhea could be like, "Well, I can sense them."
Right. And that's fair. I was just saying it would be up to
You're
Rhea.
playing your
Yeah.
cards close to your vest, Rhea.
You know, I don't know
Nah,
if I
they
trust
they
Amelia.
can know this one. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just this one.
The rest of my cards I keep close to my breastplate.
It's the raised dead that I can't let them know.
Oh shit.
Okay, gotcha.
More than an alignment shift. An oath shift. Oh no.
You didn't know about my plans for her to become a fallen?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
I'm sure your relationship with Shala would be easier if you were fallen, honestly. But
That's the end goal.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
God.
okay though.
Assumptions everywhere.
Let's not worry about that. So then just to clarify, Amelia would probably bring up that they like to become undead / are undead / Ugathor be undead, you know.
Yeah. So she would pretty much say most servants, or whatever you want to call them, of Ugathor tend to either have a fixation for undead or wish to become them. If that is the case with fuck, what's her name again?
Raylan.
Raylan. God. Yeah. If that is the case with Raylan, then that may be something of a problem. We would want to know that ahead of time. Jeez, we will lose.
We
I mean,
will.
with that
they're
attitude.
powerful. You backed off from the vampire. That was a potentially winnable fight. That's like what's the max rating for like an impossible difficulty counter? You could still technically win.
I hear so much meta. Just meta everywhere.
Yeah, meta. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I was just.
I think your bog standard vampire is a CR13.
Yeah, CR13. I think you'll let your CR20.
The idea that you would call Archimedes bog standard anything would just insult him to the core, I'm sure.
Well,
I can
that's
hear him
Moira's
gasping
problem,
in
not
the
my problem.
But yeah, I just mean, not that we would know this in character, but oh no, that better not be a lich.
And don't take my remark too seriously. You guys know me by now. When it comes to planning, I don't mind a little bit of metagame because I purposely don't let you know more than you should, if that makes sense.
Right.
The metagaming needs to shut off when you're there, when you're in character, but when you're scheming and planning, I don't mind a little bit of meta. This is a game after all.
And to be fair, I guess, because in character, I think if you were to mention that they try to turn themselves into undead, Freya would probably try to rule out some of those. Like, zombies don't keep their intelligence, so she's probably not a zombie. That would not make sense for her because he's a physician. A ghoul probably couldn't operate on people anymore, stuff like that.
I made a raw deal.
Oh, Jesus.
I
don't know. Have you seen her out in the daylight?
No, Freya does not like her.
Well,
I mean,
that's it, folks.
you've
She's a
probably-
vampire.
You've probably not seen Freya out in the daylight too much either until recently, but yeah.
She does have that cloak.
She hides under her cloak.
All
She's not
those
like the sun.
years you guys never knew each other, you have not seen her out in the daylight.
Yeah.
Sus.
Yeah, it's okay. Cloistered scholar, stay hidden away in a little room. I don't know. There's no way she would know all those things. I was just in my mind thinking, but we have Rhea, and Rhea's gonna protect us. She's gonna be like, "That's undead. I smite it," and it just disappears. That's how this
Battle
works.
done.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
but she would speak up at least to say, "You are certain that she would become undead? I can't imagine that would be easy to mask."
I also don't think it's going to go over well if we all just sort of walk in and stand there and wait for Rhea to tell us if there's somebody undead around.
Right. I'm thinking.
The question
do we
is
wanna-
how to approach, but not seem conspicuous.
Perhaps I could go there with just one or two of you, and maybe that would make us a bit more inconspicuous. And then we could return and let everyone else know what we found.
It would make sense that you and I go, child. We are both of some healing talent. If we go under the guise of helping, I do not think they could readily turn us away.
And if you're concerned, I could follow you with a simple casting of invisibility. It just might help you feel reassured.
You would know her better than us, child. It would also help to have you there to know if she is lying to us.
She would kind of meekly nod, but it would be obvious that she does not really like. She's almost a little bit terrified of this person when you keep mentioning her name. But she'll be brave.
I believe it must be said now. This is not a person I am willing to spare. Do you understand?
Well, are you directing that at Freya?
Both of you. Since Rhea and Freya are the ones who are kind of volunteering to be on the front line of this,
Mm-hmm. No,
This
well,
person has killed thousands.
yeah, Freya was actually championing the concept of just killing her outright anyway, because she'd love to talk to her and ask her lots of questions as to why she's so fucked up, but she's very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, she didn't want to hurt Rhea's feelings, so she wanted to at least make sure they were considered.
Gotcha.
Unlike
Well-
some people, no.
Well, I mean, leave it to me to kick down the door of emotions and be like, here's how it is.
Yeah.
No. If you say that and you direct it towards her, she'll say,
She's looking at both Rhea and Freya. I'm sorry. Both of those names in quick succession.
all right. But yeah, she'll say, I believe I mentioned a bit of it while we were in the alley. If I have been put under your command, all of you, Cressida has designated me to this post. I understand that my opinions of how things could be are not necessarily how you all view them. So, if you all wish to do something, I will follow. I may not like it, of course, but I will. At least for now.
In the case of this person who has decimated a city, should the decisive blow be yours, will you take it?
As I said, if this is what the group wills, and if it is a thing I see fit, then I will. My order does not prevent me from taking lives. It's just something that should be minimized.
Freya would look over to Rhea a bit concerned, but would also add in. And if it helps, there is, as Amelia mentioned, likely a large chance that she already rejected what a life she had. I don't know if you'll really be fighting much of a person anymore. More of an entity of sorts.
Well, we have a bit of time before any of that comes to be. We should rest and we'll go in the morning.
Mm-hmm. She's okay with that. She'll give a subtle nod.
And with that, Rhea's gonna get up and walk away. And go up to the roof.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, did we actually solve how we wanted to go about things tomorrow?
I think what we want to do is we want to, before charging in guns blazing, right? Because that's the normal strategy, but that's a bad idea. We're going to go in with Rhea, Mwiri, and I, but Freya, obviously her face would be recognized by her, just be invisible, just in case something happens. And that way, when we're in there, if something happens, at least still three of us, so we can make our way back to you guys. But the primary thing is we want to scout out the area and see if it's actually the place, right? Like it's harboring undead, which Rhea would be able to tell.
Sure. Also, Squeak, I keep forgetting, what was the range on the walkie-talkies?
I think it was 30 feet, 60 feet.
We
No.
also have sending spells.
Okay.
Actually, I'd have to look that up. It was a cantrip, so
If it's based on message, I think it's 120 feet.
that sounds it was based on message. It was mechanical message is what it was.
But it was supposed to be a little bit more powerful because it was my artificer device.
Yeah, I mean, back in the Pathfinder days, let's say
I guess it doesn't really matter because if we have message, you know.
Yeah, but message takes spell slots.
At third level too. It is quite expensive.
I'll say 150 feet.
Okay, and how big is the building?
As far as you guys can tell, from the outside. Give me a second here. Around 100 feet long, probably. It's almost a square, so about 100 feet long, 100 feet wide, and there's 2 floors that you can see.
Can I be? I'll suggest that perhaps I can be on a rooftop of a nearby building, and if something goes wrong, you can let me know, and then those that don't go can come if there's a problem.
Yeah, we can always be on standby near the building.
Yeah.
This feels like an FBI break-in.
Yeah. It's a sting.
I mean,
it's kind of similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if that was the plan, if we're bringing that up, I think Freya at least would, because I don't know who all. We should clarify this for the DM too. Who all has a walkie-talkie, and how many do we even have total?
I had a 5. I had made a total of 5.
So, including Shell into the pool, we have I think 6 people, which leads me to believe you probably are going to hand one to everyone but her. But
what?
just for character decisions, but we'll see.
Well, why don't you take Muiri's? Because Muiri has Sending and Majenko.
Well, I was pretty sure Freya would get one eventually anyway.
Gonna stick close to Shala, so and Amelia, I figured we would stick close somewhere, so.
Yeah, I mostly meant it would be probably a good idea since Freya won't be visible to them, hopefully. I don't know, they have true sight for some reason. But otherwise, she would be able to at least get away and subtly whisper into it if necessary, whereas they would not be able to if they were mid-conversation.
Yeah, that's fair. But also if stuff's going down, I think, that's okay that you shit's going down.
Freya's screaming. Oh.
I don't think they're gonna look at you too crazy if you're whacking somebody and saying that at the same time,
Yeah. Well, we'll hope that's not how you guys get called. Just you hear gunfire on the other end. Well, maybe not gunfire, but Alright,
But if they stole the design for the thunder cannon, then we're just kind of screwed.
Yeah, that would be kind of bad. There comes a guard arrive and they're like, actually, never mind.
Y'all can take care of this.
Is that the house on fire in the distance? Time to go check that out.
I swear I've had a rash of these lately.
So I guess adding that to it, we'll have a Ross nearby, so she can constantly kind of be on standby, waiting for us to give her information. And maybe, I don't know, she'll have like a sniper's nest or something. That would be cool. I don't know how many windows this building has, but the other people will be just kind of waiting for the go, like if something really bad happens. Because I think it will be kind of difficult to go into like a lot more complexity since we haven't seen the building yet. But I think that's at least a pretty good outline.
I think you vastly underestimate how like how paranoid we can be.
Well, I mean, we could bring like a cart with a bunch of goats on it to have them stampede in if something wrong happens.
We do have a cow. We always come back to the cow.
That cow is quarantined with everyone else in Old Corvosa at the moment.
Yeah,
well,
that
cow's
cow's probably dead.
Wasn't that hard. We could do another
Don't
one.
say that.
Yeah, I
He's
figured the
not
cow
dead.
became steak.
Jesus.
Very
No, he
diseased
is
steak.
safe and sound. He is safe and sound.
Bessie, no.
Can't believe you guys.
Listen, man, he's not my cow.
Queen Aosa's just like, this is a damn fine steak.
That bitch.
Of all people, how dare she?
All right, so if I understand correctly, the plan is to send a scouting party in to assess the dangers and basically get a scoop of the inside before everyone goes in, correct?
Yes.
Now,
I think so.
just so we don't get to that point and everyone's like, I hadn't thought about this. If that's the case, if you hadn't thought about it, let's say you go inside and you find that things look weird or bad. Are you going outside and everyone's immediately going inside? Or is this we're going to scout, we're going to go back to the West Dock and reassess? Or is this if everything looks good, we're going in now? Or this is purely a scouting mission?
I think the main thing is we want to make sure that, because technically our only lead really is that Faust is like, yeah, Raylan's in Diason, which Freya would trust, but we want to make sure that's actually true, right? Before we just charge into the building, which is a hospice center.
Remember, Moiri also asked her son whether or not that was a valid concern. So the purpose of the scouting party is to see, like, so Moiri's plan is to go in under the guise of, hey, we're here to help, we have some healing ability.
There is one more piece of evidence or things that you guys have, just because it has been a while. You do have Jolastina telling you that Rolth, along with doctors' physicians, came to take away the Varisian gentleman.
Right.
And this is the headquarters of where the doctors' physicians are working.
This is the place, but as characters, we're pretty sure, but we do want to make sure.
Absolutely. I'm just saying that I'm putting on the table everything that you guys know or think you know about the physicians and where they are and what's going on.
I think, especially if we were this certain, like it's like a 95% yes, this is the place, we'd probably, as long as the group agrees with me, probably be ready to go in at a moment's notice, at least as best as we can, but we're sending in just a small like squad, so we're not like running in and immediately raising all the alarms.
Yeah, and if it's a hospice, there's sick people around. I mean, we don't want to have exposure. A bunch of people like storm in and then be like, "Oops, sorry, wrong house."
All the patients are just having heart attacks. Gotcha. Okay, so understood. So anything else you guys want to discuss at the dinner table?
Nope.
I
think that's good for now.
Okay.
God damn it, I was muted. All right. You did remind me that what's his face was taken away. Did Shala ever give a physical description? Why are words so hard right now? Of her friend.
Yeah, I assume she would have at some point. Yeah. Short brown hair, young, Varisian looking, which is basically they look Eastern European.
Well, hopefully that's helpful.
Young, very young, younger than Shala, maybe 17.
Okay. Because if he was taken away, maybe we can look out and see if he ends up like being inside. That I don't know, like maybe we spot him somewhere. Who fucking knows? It's something that we can keep an eye out for.
I know.
Well, obviously you know. God.
Well, you asked. All right.
Right, but that's a good point too. I agree.
Okay. So, do we want to fast forward until that moment? Or do you guys have other...
I have one thing I would want to do.
Stab Shala?
No.
Damn.
I just want to see if I can find Van Casterkin and ask him about Gordon Pace.
Didn't he say that he was like...
Not Van Casterkin. Okay, then...
No. Van Carlo or Van Casterkin?
Van Casterkin.
Oh, Van Casterkin's back with the guard.
I know, that's...
All right.
I want to go to the guard and see if I can find him.
Roll me an investigation check, please.
I just want to see if this guy, like, is,
Sure. Reliable.
decent or crappy. Yeah.
Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's just enough, actually. You would find some guards patrolling the street, and you would ask them about Van Casterkin.
Yeah.
And they would direct you 2 streets down. Looks like Van Casterkin has requested a nearby patrol.
Okay.
I don't know, almost like he has a vested interest in staying in the area or something.
I figured he probably wouldn't be too far.
And he's marching down the street with a troop of 5 soldiers. They look very tired, of course, very weary. And he'll see you, and he'll nod and halt the troop, and then walk up to you. Ross, it's getting late.
I figured you might be around in the area. Wanted to make sure you had something to eat. Moiri sent some dinner.
He looks at the other 4 guards, and they're snickering. That's very kind. I've already eaten, and I'm on duty. So tell Moiri I appreciate it, but I'm fine for now. Thank you.
I also had wanted to check a PI's credentials. Do you know of a Gordon Pace?
Gordon Pace. Yeah, of course, I've heard of him. The Crimson Guard uses his services a lot. He's tracked down more than one killer, and certainly his fair share of thieves. If you're talking about Gordon Pace, he's got an amazing track record. Very expensive, though, from what I hear.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Thanks. Have a good night.
You too. He looks like very confused. Like, this has just been a very odd encounter. Especially since, did Aras have food with her?
Yeah, I mean, okay. I would have intentionally brought food.
Gotcha.
And I would have brought a lot of food just in case he happened. I mean, I was looking to see if he was in the area with other people. I mean,
yeah, no, he would politely decline. It's just been a very odd encounter, but pleasant enough.
All right, well, that's fine. I just wanted to. I mean,
sure.
This random person could have sent me to like.
Oh God, yeah, they could have.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, it could have been a crazy person that thinks they're a PI. Like, no matter what you would have said, like, I want you to investigate Frank. I can take that job. Right.
Yeah. All right. That's all I wanted to do for the night.
Okay. So the rest of you bed down. The night passes, the stars fly by overhead. The cock crows as the sun rises. Who's keeping a rooster? I don't know. Someone, I guess, in the West Dock has a rooster. And you guys begin your day. You get up, you have breakfast. Of course, Shala starts her 2-hour preparation rituals. And unless someone wants to stop me, we can just kind of move forward to...
No, Weary, as usual, will offer to help Shala with her hair.
Shala will greatly accept, as always. And Weary, as detailed as you are, you see that when you're done, like, Shala, like, does touch up. Like, tries to wait until you're away, and then just get that little part just perfect.
Weary, honest to God, doesn't care.
Right. So, to the Blessed Maiden.
Let's go.
All right. Make sure I pull up the right one.
There's also the question of how late we want to run tonight.
That's a fair point.
If we're starting this encounter at 11:45.
Well, that's a fair point. You have no idea how long this would take. This actually might be a good time to stop for the evening, and we'll pick this up next week. Sound like a plan to everyone else?
Sure.
I mean, not
Doesn't
everyone at
matter
once.
to me either way.
Sure, that's fine.
All right. We should be back up to a weekly schedule, everyone.
Yay.
And hey, look, no problems whatsoever with Fantasy Grounds. All the fights went perfectly.
Yeah. Did
The
it.
fancy new computer did its job.
Yay! Actually, it didn't show my first roll. It's all a failure. I'm tearing it down.
Gotta start from the ground up, man.
So everyone, thanks for joining us, and join us next week when they enter the Blessed Maiden. Okay, wait, no, let me retry that.
Oh.
Yeah, she's not a maiden anymore. She's had plenty of people inside of her.
I'm just
my
gonna stop
God.
the stream.